Welcome to Vedantu Masterclass. Today we are going to learn something really interesting. Today you will learn to visualize the functions graphically. And guys, trust me, today's learning of 1 hour will be game changing for you. This way of visualizing graphs is exactly what makes the difference between a student who gets a rank in IIT versus the others who do not. The difference in approach. Okay, so today you will learn that new approach of attempting the problems. Today we will see lots of examples and I will take some IIT JEE questions as well to illustrate how graphs can actually help you in visualizing the functions and solving the questions without writing any equation at all. Okay, so on that note, let's begin. Many of you must have attended my sessions previously. I've been taking lots of sessions on graphs lately. This is a session in continuation of that. And after this, I will also start a course on functions, a short course on functions where you learn the entire function and all aspects of graphs in very depth. Okay, so brief intro about myself for the ones who don't know me. I'm Pulkit. I did my BTech from IIT Roorkee in 2005. And after that, I've taught and mentored tens of thousands of students. Okay. Before starting Vedantu, I had started Lakshya Institute in North India. And I think a lot of students have heard the name of Lakshya Institute by now, because last year, All India Rank 1, this year, AIMS Rank 1, All India, have come from Lakshya Institute. So, we could create amazing difference in the cities where we started Lakshya Institute in North India. So after that, we thought of starting Vedantu to take teachers like me and many such amazing teachers to all the students in the country with the help of technology. So this is what we are doing at Vedantu now, and building amazing technology to reach out to all such awesome students like you. And you know what gives me maximum confidence? I see future in all of you. I see tomorrow. You will be creating amazing technologies and systems to disrupt and make education far better and improve in many other areas of life, right? On that note, let's begin. So today we will learn about functions, but in a very different way. We will learn to visualize it. Okay, chalo. So on that note, let's begin. So this is what you're gonna do today. Today, we will take some basic functions. For example, I'll take two functions today. One, y is equal to f of x. Let me take x square as one function, a quadratic function, and its graph. Okay. I'll take this as a function, which I assume that all of you know. So this is the graph of y equal to x square. The second function that I'll take is y is equal to f of x is equal to say sin x. And I think all of you know its graph as well. Now what I'm going to do on top of these. So you know the graph of sin x like this and keeps going, right? Now, if I know these two graphs, we will learn to then plot the graphs of these transformations. There are many such transformations. I'll take some of them. Okay. So today I'll take this one, and I'll take one special transformation, which is mod of f of x. And we will learn to apply all these in some IIT questions. Cool. So this is what you're going to do today. So let's start with our first transformation. That is, let's take the graph of y is equal to fx is equal to x square. All of you know that. I'll again repeat. This is the graph of y is equal to f of x is equal to x square. Okay? You know this, right? We call it quadratic. This is a quadratic graph. Or its shape is also known as parabolic. When you learn parabola, or if you have learned parabola, you'll realize that the shape of this graph is actually the shape which we call as parabola or parabolic shape. Now, what we're going to do, today we'll learn how will the graph of these two transformations, then if I add 2 in f of x, it will become x square plus 2. Similarly, this transformation is f of x minus 2. My question is, when a is 0, the graph is like x square, right? If I increase the a, see what will happen? If I increase the a, see the graph is moving up along y-axis, right? The graph is moving up along y-axis. If it is x square plus 2, the graph has moved up by this distance 2, right? Similarly, if I decrease the a, the graph will come down. If a becomes negative, if it is x square minus 1, see the graph comes down by distance 1. X square minus 2, the graph goes down to x to minus 2, right? So the graph is either going up or the graph is going down, up, down, vertically. So we call this as a vertical transformation. So let me quickly revise and summarize it for you. So if we know the graph of y equal to x square, which is this graph, this is y is equal to x square, okay? Then these graphs, the graph which has gone up by the distance or the gap 2 is actually y is equal to x square plus 2, okay? And similarly, the graph which goes down by 2 units is nothing but y is equal to x square minus 2. Cool? Add a number to the function, graph goes up. Subtract a number from the function, the graph goes down. And we call it, this transformation is what we call as vertical transformation. It is called as vertical transformation. Cool? Very simple. So what I'll do, I'll take couple of transformations and then I'll combine these transformations to create some questions for you. So hang on there. Okay, we will do some really awesome questions today. Cool? Chalo. So a quick visualization, again a quick repetition and visualization. So this is what we have done. See, just look at it here. X square plus 3, it has gone up to 3. X square plus 2, x square plus 1, x square minus 1, x square minus 2, x square minus 3. Up and down vertical transformation. Cool? Chalo. Now, let's move to our second transformation. Okay, and see how will it behave. So earlier transformation was I took f of x and then I added or subtracted a number from the function. Now what I'm going to do, now I'm adding or subtracting a number from x. Okay, earlier the change was in y, I'll come to that again later. Now the change is in x. So how will the graph behave? Is there a technique to visualize it? Let's see. So, by the way guys, today I will not be able to take your individual doubts. So many of you are taking session on Vedantu website and many of you are taking the session on YouTube because I'm also streaming this session on YouTube live today. Okay? So you can actually put your questions in the comment there and I and my team will try to answer as much as we can. But I will give you my email ID towards end of the session. So have a copy and pen ready. If there is any doubt, please keep noting it down. And you can email me after the session as well. I'll answer all your questions individually. Cool? Chalo, let's come back to this. So y equal to x square को transform किया. I'm transforming it to now x plus 2. If I replace x by x plus 2, then this x will also get replaced by x plus 2. So f of x plus 2, function of x plus 2 is x plus 2 ka square. With the same logic, this can also be written as f of x minus 2, which becomes x minus 2 ka whole square. Cool? So now how will the transformation behave? Let us see. Now what I'm going to do, I'm adding a number here and not here. Okay? Now let's take a to 0 again to begin. See, my graphs are, so y equal to x square, and y equal to x plus a whole square is same because a is 0. Now I am going to change a. Okay, see what will happen. It's very important. If I increase the a, if a is positive like 1, what will happen? The graph now shifts towards left. It is counterintuitive, but make a note of it. If it is x plus 1 ka whole square, then the graph will have shifted towards the left. Okay, counterintuitive, so please make a note of it. If I keep increasing a to 2, the graph now shifts to -2 along horizontal axis, x-axis. But if I decrease the a, if I subtract a number from x minus 1 ka whole square, see the graph is shifting towards right. X minus 2 ka whole square, graph is shifting further right. So the shift is left or right along x-axis. So we call it horizontal transformation. Let me summarize and revise it for you again before we move on to some problem solving. See what will happen. So let me summarize it here. Our base graph, this graph was y is equal to x square. This graph is y, which is shifted towards right. See, the graph is shifted towards right by the gap of 2, by 2 units. Any point, you can see any point. All points are shifted towards right by 2. So this is x minus 2 ka square. Okay, x minus 2 shift towards right. Now, if you look at this blue graph, see, this red graph has shifted towards left by the gap of 2. Any point, you can see any point. This has shifted towards left by 2. So this is x plus 2 ka whole square. Okay, and we call this transformation as horizontal transformation. You can keep noting it down in your notebooks, guys. Okay. By the way, all of you will get the recording of this as well later, but you can keep noting it down. Now, many of you must be thinking, why is this shift left and right happening? First of all, let me also explain this quickly. To explain, let me introduce a new word for you. I will call this point, which is 0, 0, as a vertex. Let me call this point as vertex of the graph. Which graph? Y equal to x square ka, this point is called vertex. Now, if you look at this equation, if you put x is equal to 2, put x is equal to 2 here. If you put x is equal to 2, this will become 0. So y will become 0. So do you realize that 2, 0 will satisfy this, or this graph will pass through 2, 0? That's it. That is the explanation. So what has happened? The vertex now has shifted to 2, 0. That is how we read it. Y equal to x square, vertex is 0, 0. Y equal to x minus 2 whole square, the vertex has shifted to 2, 0. Because of x minus 2, shift is at 2. And because of x plus 2, the shift of the vertex now is at minus 2, 0. So this is the vertex. Vertex shifts. So now you remember, now it's easy to remember, right? If it is x minus 2, shift right. If it is x plus 2, shift left. But you must be thinking, yeah, you didn't tell us like that when the shift was along y-axis. So let me explain once again. Okay. So let's come back to our previous transformation. Actually, there is a new way to read it. Now listen to me. You could have read this also like this. Y minus 2 is equal to x square. And you could have read this as y plus 2 is equal to x square. So this is another way of reading. So like it was x minus 2 may shift towards right. Similarly, if it is y minus 2, the shift is up. X minus 2 right, x minus 2 right, y minus 2 up. X plus 2 left, y plus 2 down. Now it makes sense? Yes? Y minus 2 up, y plus 2 down. Change in y, shift along y. Change in x, change in x, change in x, shift along x. Simple, cool. Okay, so let's move ahead now. This is the same visualization. So I'll move ahead now. एक बार देख लो quickly. Now let's do the problems. I hope it is making sense to all of you. This was simple till here. Slowly I'll increase the level and go to the IIT JEE level problems. Okay. अच्छा ये बताओ. Can you guys tell me? Look at this carefully. Now I am introducing the sine graph because the concept that we have learned can be applied to all the graphs possible. So to illustrate, I have taken a sine graph. Can you tell me which equation represents the blue graph and which equation represents the green graph? See carefully. A or B? You can ping your answer in the comments. What? A? Yeah, not B guys, not A. Okay, see what has happened. Just look at this. This 0 has shifted up to 2, right? So the entire graph has shifted up by 2 if you realize. So this point was 1, this point has become 3. So you can see all the points have shifted up by the gap of 2. So when the graph shifts up by 2, there are two ways to visualize it. Either you replace this by y minus 2 is equal to sin x. Other way to write this as y is equal to sin x, that is f of x plus 2. एक ही बात, however you want to see. So which is the graph? The blue, it has shifted down by how much? This is minus 1. So the shift down is by 1. All the points have shifted down by 1. All the points have shifted down by 1. So this graph should be, if you want to change the y, if you add plus 1 in y, shift down is equal to sin x. Else you can also read this as y is equal to, you can take function and subtract a 1 from there. एक ही बात, ठीक है? So this is your green graph, option A. Got it? Makes sense? So whatever that you are learning applies to all possible graphs. So let's move ahead. Okay. So again, the same thing which we have just seen. Acha, now this is a combined problem. Look at this very, very carefully. The question is, look at the red graph. The question is, which one of these options, see carefully. I'm not running the poll today, but you can actually, comment in the comment stream, right? By the way, I will give you assignment as well. Later, I'll give you an assignment as well. Okay? Chalo, look at this. Yeah, I can. Okay. I can see many of you are doing the mistake of plus and minus. Be careful, guys. Many of you are doing the mistake of plus and minus. Okay, let me quickly explain. So basically there are two transformations involved here. So this is my base graph, which is y equal to x square. Okay, क्या करो? Visualize it in parts. First move the graph towards right and then down. तो क्या करना है? First move the graph towards your right. So how much? So the graph, this vertex earlier was 0, 0. Now the vertex has shifted to 2, 0. So the graph has shifted right by a gap of 2. So this equation will be y is equal to x minus 2 ka whole square. Agree? If you replace x by x minus 2, the shift is towards right. Ye to ho gaya. Now you want to shift this graph, green graph, down. That is how you do it. You shift it down by how much? See, this is minus 1. Shift it down by 1. So if you want to shift it down by 1, there are two ways to see it. Either you guys, I think there was a audio fluctuation. I will again repeat. So what needs to happen? You need to replace y by y plus 1. As soon as you do it, what will happen? Because of y plus 1, the shift is down, right? Or you can also realize this as, write this as, subtract 1 from the function. एक ही बात है. So which was your answer? Y is equal to x minus 2 whole square minus 1. See, yes, many of you were right, but lots of you also did a mistake of plus and minus, as I could see. Clear है ये? यहाँ तक तो clear है. Simple problems. ठीक है? So let's move ahead now. I hope it's making sense to all of you, right? Do you want to see an IIT JEE problem on that? How the problems are framed? Let's look at it. Now let's see how graph transformation helps in attempting IIT questions. But before that, guys, a quick context. This entire chapter of functions is super important for IIT. The problems from this chapter itself will come or constitute around 8 to 10% of IIT JEE paper, mains and advanced both. Okay. But you realize that in maths, the functions and the graphs are applied in the chapters of coordinate geometry, application of derivative, integration, area under the curve, quadratic, complex numbers, and continuity and differentiability. In all these chapters, you will see massive application of functions and graphs a lot. And in physics also, you see massive application in kinematics is entirely graphical. SHM, sound waves, current electricity, modern physics, everywhere. So if you see in maths, if I was going through the problems, if you know the concepts of graphs and functions, at least 30 to 35% of the paper will have direct application of that in multiple topics. Okay? So I'll take an example to illustrate that. Let's take a problem which came in IIT. It was like IIT Advanced because at that time, you know, that mains separately didn't used to happen. But so the question is of area bounded by the curves. It is a question of integration, but that portion of the integration is just one line. Actually, the question is about plotting the graph. So what I want you to do is, I want you to plot all these three graphs. But now you know them. These are simple transformed graph of y equal to x square. Can you plot these quickly? Then I'll briefly explain about what this question is about. But see how what we learned, you see a direct application in IT problem. Okay, so कैसे plot करेंगे? All of you know this. I know my base graph, which is y equal to x square, you know. So y is x minus 1 ka whole square is like y equal to x square, but shifted towards right. Agree? This graph will be shifted towards right, 1, 0. This is y is equal to x minus 1 ka whole square. We just did it. Other graph, let me mark it red, is symmetrical to green one, but goes like this. So this is minus 1, 0, shifted towards left, which is x plus 1 ka whole square. And then there is a line y equal to 1 by 4, which will go like this. Oops. So y equal to 1 by 4 ka line hai. That's it. If you can plot, IIT just wanted to check if you can plot these graphs correctly. If you can, now you immediately know what is the area bounded by the curves. Though it is not important to teach right now for me, but area bounded the curves is actually what? See the area which the red, the green and the black graphs together bound, this area. Red, green, black. This is its areas to be found out. That is just a one line problem. If you know integration, if anybody knows integration, it's very, very simple. ठीक है? क्या करते हैं? ऐसे करते हैं इसको. It is integral of y2, that is upper graph का y, let me call it y2, lower graph का y, y1, y2 minus y1 dx integral from 0 to this point is half. So this is area of this portion into 2 area of the entire portion. Upper y is nothing but क्या y है? X minus 1 का whole square. Lower y is 1 by 4. That's it, simple integration. This will be your answer. But don't worry, if you don't know it, I'm not teaching it right now. All I wanted to say was, see, it is just one line. but the main portion was graph. Trust me guys, if you know graphs, I can show you 35 to 40% problems you can do just like that without writing 1 or 2 lines of equations. Okay, I'll take many more problems in this chapter. But समझ में आया ना what you've learned, how will it find application in the entire mathematics in IIT? That's how. ठीक है, चलो, I'll take one more problem of IIT, but before that, one more concept. I'll take a very, very interesting concept of this. What you have learned till now, we have learned y is equal to f of x plus minus a, vertical transformation up and down. We have learned y is equal to f of x plus minus a, horizontal transformation left and right. Now I'm teaching you one more transformation. What if f of x transforms into modulus of fx? तो ग्राफ कैसे बिहेव करेगा? ठीक है, very, and it is a favorite of IIT. Other favorites of IIT are f of mod x, greatest integer of f of x, f of greatest integer function of x, modulus of f of modulus of x. I will teach all this, but not today. In my course of functions that I will start, that I'll talk about later, I will teach all these which are super duper favorite of IIT. But today, let's learn this to begin with in this 1 hour. तो देखो, बड़ा easily मैं समझाता हूँ आपको. So let's take a graph. To illustrate, let me take a graph. Let us say this is some graph. Some तो कुछ तो graph है, whatever graph. Now, let's look at this modulus function. If I do modulus of x, actually, you know what? This modulus is a Baba function. It is like a saint, a Baba. What it does, it removes the negativity. If somebody comes with a negativity to this Baba, a 2 comes with a negative sign, it has negativity in it. Baba says, beta, stop. Let me remove your negativity. Let me take only the positive thing ahead. But if you yourself are positive, then Baba says, no problem, my doors are open, go. Okay? So this Baba makes everything positive. Now, if I apply this Baba concept on the graph, it appears very simple. Where is the negativity in this graph? Wherever I have marked the graph negative, this black, is where the graph is below x-axis. Wherever the graph is below x-axis, it is negative. So when you take the modulus of function fx, the Baba will do what? Baba will say, beta, wherever you are negative, please come up. Wherever you are negative, please come up. And your graph will actually look like this. How will it look like? The positive portion will remain as it is. The negative portion will have jumped up and become positive. Positive remains as it is. Negative again jumped up. Positive remains positive. So actually this is the graph of mod fx. Super simple. क्या करना होता है? Just make the graph, wherever the graph is below x-axis, look at me in the video, just fold it up. Just fold it up. That is your mod fx, modulus of f of x, absolute function of f of x graph. Super duper important for IIT. I'll take a question of IIT. Look at this. Again an IIT JEE problem of decently good marks, and hint is, in this problem you need not write a single equation. This problem is verbal if you know the graph. Can plot? Chalo, I'll help you with this. सबसे पहले क्या करो ना, you start with a function which is sin x. Let us start with y is equal to sin x. All of you know its graph. Make it in your notebooks. Make the graph of y equal to sin x. कैसा होगा? It will go like this, up and down like a wave. It's a wave. Actually, sound wave also is like this, okay? You'll read it in physics. Now first do the first transformation. सबसे पहले क्या करो? take a mod of this. Take a mod of sin x. Mod fx. If this is f of x, this is modulus of f of x. What will happen? What will Baba do? Baba will say, beta, wherever you are negative, please come up. Wherever you are negative, please come up. Wherever you are negative, please come up. Can you make the graph? How will the graph be? Entire graph will have come up. ये तो पहले पॉजिटिव था, ये भी पॉजिटिव हो गया, ये तो पॉजिटिव ही था. This also became positive. Negative became positive. Positive. Awesome. This is the graph of mod of sin x. Now you need to do one more transformation. Now you are adding. You can. I'm doing two. You can write it in two ways. Either you can change the y by writing this, or you can say you are doing this transformation. Y is equal to the previous function plus 1. What will happen? As soon as you do, if you replace y by y minus 1, or in other words, when you add a plus 1 to the function, this graph will move vertically up. ये तो हमने कर ही दिया. Change in y vertically up. So how will your graph look like? This entire green graph, which is mod sin x, will now shift up by 1. All the points will have shifted up by 1. कैसा दिखेगा graph? That's it. This red graph is your required graph. ठीक है? फिर से करके दिखाऊं? I'll quickly show you once again. हटाओ, हटाओ, हटाओ. Let's make y is equal to sin x. This we know. ठीक है? Now let me do what? Let me take the graph of y is equal to, let's take absolute value function. इसमें होता है absolute value function. कहाँ गया? Absolute value function of sin x, which is mod sin x. See the graph? This is the graph of sin x. This is the graph of sin x. ठीक है? When I do absolute function of sin x, what happened? All the negative portion jumped up. The negative portion jumped up. Now, if you add a plus 1 to it, the graph will shift up. क्या होगा? Let me again make it for you. So this is the function. Now let me add a plus 1 to it. ये देखो ऊपर आ गया. That's it. Simple. Now the question is, where is the graph continuous and differentiable? That is single line. I'll just tell you, though it is not. That is not my purpose of teaching today. This is the graph. Continuous. Where is the graph breaking anywhere? No. Simple. If you are an ant, if you are a cheetah, if you are walking on the graph, will you ever fall down? Is there any hole or a gap? Is the graph like this? There is a gap. Is there a gap? Is there a hole in the graph? No. So if you are an ant walking on it, you will not fall down. If you're an ant walking on it, here you will fall down, but here you will not. So the function is continuous. If the ant does not fall down anywhere, it is continuous. Don't bother. If you're not getting it, it's okay. Just learn the graph. And differentiable. There is a simple concept that you learned in 12th, or if you're in 12th, you might have learned. Look at this. Wherever there is a sharp corner, on the graph, those are the points where the graph is not differentiable. You will learn it in 12th, but I've taught it. Wherever you see a sharp corner like this, it is a sharp corner. There is a sharp corner. So wherever there is a sharp corner, the graph is not differentiable. So how many sharp corners will be there in this graph? Infinite. Hence, the function is continuous everywhere and it is not differentiable at infinite number of points. That's it. Did you write any equation? No. If you solve it algebraically, बहुत time लगेगा. It will take a lot of time. If you do it graphically, it is verbal. That is why you are learning functions and graphs. Or that's why you are learning functions graphically. ठीक है? चलो, let's learn the last transformation, which is super interesting. So this is the next transformation that we are going to learn. This is a times fx. तो अभी तक क्या क्या पढ़ लिया? Quick revision. We have learned f of x plus minus a vertical transformation. We have learned f of x plus minus a, horizontal transformation. We have learned y is equal to mod fx, baba, fold up transformation. Now I'm multiplying a number with the function. That's what we are gonna do. Kaise? Let's see. If y equal to x square is a graph which you know, I'm going to see how will y is equal to 2 times fx behave. 2 times fx is 2x square. This is say y is equal to half times fx, half x square. And for example, this is y is equal to minus 2 times fx. Let's learn. देखते भाई क्या होता है. Let's see how it will behave now. ठीक है. चलो, let's come back to our standard approach. Let's make our basic graph, that is x square. Here. Now let's multiply a number a with this x square. कर दे multiply. अब देखो. Now let's see what will happen in this graph. If I multiply x square with 1, then to no issues, you know what will happen. It will remain the same. But if I multiply x square by a number greater than 1, like 2, see what happens. The graph shrinks. The graph, as if somebody is stretching the graph up, as if somebody is stretching the graph up vertically. Look at me in the video. As if somebody is pulling the graph up. It has become thinner. It has become thinner. If I take higher values of a, the graph will become more and more and more and more thin. Okay? But if I multiply the function with a number which is fractional, see what will happen? As if somebody is pushing the graph down. As if somebody is pushing the graph down. Okay? Compressing, as if somebody is compressing the graph. Okay? And the most interesting thing is, if I multiply the graph with a negative number, say minus 1, it inverts. It inverts. If the coefficient of x square is positive, the graph faces up. Look at me in the video. The graph faces up. If the coefficient of x square, or what is getting multiplied with x square, is negative, the graph faces down. Okay? So this is the graph of x square. This is the graph of minus x square. Got it? Further, higher magnitude number, it will become thinner but inverted. So this is what happens. Vertical stretch or compression or inversion. Now let me summarize it for you. I will summarize it for you, okay? Quickly. Then let's do more problems after that. So this is my y equal to x square. Now look at these two dudes. These two guys here, right? They're pulling the graph up. They're pulling the graph up, stretching it up. When a is greater than 1. These two guys are compressing it down. These two guys are compressing it down. But when a is less than 1. Compression. So this is y is equal to half x square. Now what will happen if I invert the graph? Chalo dekhte hain. If the blue graph is inverted or mirror image with respect to x-axis, this graph will be, if this is 2x square blue graph, this orange, which is its mirror image, will be minus 2x square. And what is this? Its mirror image will be y is equal to minus half x square. Cool? So what do we call this transformation? We will call it vertical stretch or compression. Vertical, this is along y-axis. Okay? Got it, guys? Make sense? Very, very interesting. Now, let's see. You can quickly visualize it. Look at this here. red graph is y equal to x square, green graph is y equal to ax square, and that is how the value of a is changing. देखा? 3 stretched, 4, 5 more stretched. Now negative. -5 stretched but inverted. -4 less stretched but inverted. Okay, cool. I think you have seen it. Now let's move on. Now this is a very interesting problem. Let's see how many of you can do this problem. It will be a bit tricky, but see. The question is, I'll explain the question. The green graph is y equal to x square. Question is, which of these ABCD options represent the red graph? So green graph is y equal to x square. Question is, which of these options represent the red graph? Represent the red graph. Dekho, I'll give you half a minute to think about it. Take your time. I'm not doing it till then, okay? You do in your notebooks. I'm just making the y equal to x square, which you know. अब देखो क्या होगा. Yeah, I can see some answers coming in. Yeah, many of you are right, but again, the mistake of sign. Think in pieces. First thing, the red graph is inverted. Okay, first thing, red graph is inverted, and then it has been shifted also vertically. So क्या करेंगे? Okay, let me explain. देखो guys, let's break this question into two parts. First, I see here, look at this red graph. This is facing down. So my graph should also face down. So let me start by making the graph inverted. If this is y equal to x square, then its inverted graph will be y is equal to minus x square. Okay, chalo yahan tak to ho gaya. Now I see carefully, the red graph looks thinner than the green graph. The red graph looks thinner than the green graph. So what do I want? I actually want to make it more thin, like this, stretched, in other words. This is how the shape of this red graph is, the required graph. So from here to here, what should I multiply with? What should I multiply to minus x square to make it more thinner? Should I multiply 1 by 4 or should I multiply 4? Of course not 1 by 4. If you multiply with 4, higher magnitude, the graph will become thinner, right? So this graph actually is y is equal to minus 4x square, the red graph. Looking at the options. Now, my required graph, let me make as the black graph, is actually like the red graph, but shifted up. But shifted up by how much? It has been shifted up by 2. So if I shift this red graph up by 2, what do I need to do? I just need to replace y by y minus 2. If I replace y by y minus 2, the graph shifts up. Or in other words, you can write this as y is equal to minus 4x square plus 2. What has this 2 done? This y minus 2 or a plus 2 here has shifted this red graph up. That's it. That is my required graph. So my required graph equation will be y is equal to minus 4x square. Because of minus, the graph got inverted. Because of 4, it became thinner. And because of plus 2, the graph has come up. Answer is D. Got it? So now do you realize you can actually make the graph of any quadratic. That is, you've already learned how. I'll actually come down to that. Now let me come down to the quadratic through graphs. Kaise? Dekhte hain. Now we are discussing the properties of quadratic function through graph in next 5 minutes. Okay. Am I going fast, guys, in this 1 hour session? I'm assuming you're in the middle of the year, so you have some context of a lot of things. Okay? But still, if you feel I'm a bit fast, you will definitely get the replay of it. But In my sessions to continue of the functions ka course that I'm going to take, I'll do all these things in much depth and at very high level as well. Okay, chalo. Before that, the question is, let's learn to plot its graph. There are many ways, but let me quickly tell you a way and then the method to remember that as well. Kya karte hain? Let's first do something which we call as completing the square. Aim kya hai? To plot its graph. There is a method called completing the square which you have learned in class 10th, which I'm sure many of you might have forgotten. Anyways, I'll quickly revise. What I do, let me write this equation like x square minus 4x. Oh, I realize if it is x square minus 4x, had there been a plus 4, it would have become a perfect square. Agree? I want to create that perfect square here. So I want to write a plus 4 here. But since there is a plus 7, so let me add 3 separately. Why have I done that? So that this becomes a perfect square. Now what it will look like? It will look like y is equal to x minus 2 whole square plus 3, which further can be written as y minus 3 is equal to x minus 2 ka whole square. Ek second, 1 minute. This is nothing but the transformed graph of y is equal to x square. It is its transformed graph. How it is transformed? It's very simple. You have already learned that. You have learned that if the y equal to x square ka graph is this, okay, whose vertex is 0, 0, now because of x minus 2 and y minus 3, the vertex will shift. Where? Because of x minus 2, the graph will shift towards right by 2. Because of x minus 2, shift towards right by 2. Because of y minus 3, the graph will shift up by 3. Okay, I'm not making it to scale, just a depictive graph. So actually my graph should look like this. Whose graph? The required equation. Where is the vertex shifted? The vertex has been shifted to 2, 3. Now remember it. If it is x minus something, the vertex, because of x minus 2, the x coordinate of the vertex shifts to 2. Because of y minus 3, the y coordinate of the vertex shifts to 3. X minus 2, x coordinate shifts to 2. Because of y minus 3, y coordinate of the vertex shifts to 3. That's it. बना दो graph. इसमें क्या है? Right? You can make it. अच्छा, had there been x plus 2 here, had it been x plus 2 ka whole square here, the vertex ka x coordinate would have shifted to minus 2, right? Had it been y plus 3 here, the vertex ka y coordinate would have shifted to minus 3, right? But there is a formula for this. So this is the graph. But there is a formula. Now let me help you with the formula. Guys, always remember, you have learned in the chapter of quadratic and in your class 10th as well that y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c by the method of completing the square. Can also be written like this. If you have not done it, although all of you must have done it in 10th, but still you can note it down. This can always be written like this, which means if I combine these two, see, y equal to ax square plus bx plus c can be written like this. So what I do, I write y equal to ax square plus bx plus c as y plus d by 4a. कैसे किया? I am taking this minus d by 4a towards the y. So y plus d by 4a is equal to a times x plus b by 2a का whole square. Please note it down in your notebook. What I am telling you, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Remember, can always be written like this. Okay? But as soon as you know this, done. It immediately tells you that the vertex of any quadratic graph can be, it is nothing but the transformed graph of y equal to x square. Right? That's it. Because of x plus b by 2a, the vertex ka x coordinate, remember x plus 2, the y coordinate shifts to minus 2. X plus b by 2a, the x coordinate of the vertex shifts to minus b by 2a. Because of y plus d by 4a, the y coordinate of the vertex shifts to minus d by 4a. Please, please, please note it down. That's it. So do you realize that quadratic equation is nothing but study of y equal to x square? It's just that its vertex has been shifted, absolutely nothing else at all. Okay? It is just a outcome of graph transformation. So please note it down. Y equal to x square plus bx plus c ka vertex always is minus b by 2a comma minus d by 4a. And what is the purpose of this a? This a simply decides if a is positive, the graph faces up. I told you na, whatever that multiplies with x square, if it is positive, graph faces up. If it is negative, graph faces down. That's it. Okay? To summarize it, this screen will help you. So y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c ka graph with the concept of graph transformation is facing up if a is positive, facing down if a is negative. But in both the cases, the vertex ka coordinate is minus b by 2a comma minus d by 4a. Cool? कर लिया note? एक last problem करें. Then I'll give you one more IIT JEE का problem. करना IIT का problem. ठीक है? It's been what? It's been almost 50 minutes now. I'll take 10 more minutes, 1 hour. You have learned a lot in this 1 hour, by the way. Trust me, it will be game changing for you in IIT. ठीक है? If you apply it in the right way. Cool? Chalo. Apply it in this problem. Question is, I want you to plot its graph, but extremely quickly. What you need to do, you know that if this is the quadratic, its vertex is this, and you also know the is ax square plus bx plus c. Mistake mat karo yaar. Okay, I'll quickly do the calculations if you want. Minus of b, that is minus 8 upon 2 into 2 comma minus of what is d? D is b square minus 4ac. B square is 64 minus 4 into 2 minus 24. Sorry, 64 minus what? 40, that is 24. 24 upon 8 with a minus sign, minus 3 multiplied with x. Yeah, so simple, right? Done. So this is the graph. Yeah, 2 comma minus 3. This is the graph. Okay? Chalo. Let's move ahead. Now, okay. So before I'll give you a question on IIT. So this question of IIT will do. But before that, let me also tell you the details about the course that I'm going to launch. Okay? So the way we have learned graphs and attempted IIT ka problems, similar way, I'll teach entire functions and extremely deep details of graphs in a set of 8 sessions, 8 classes over the next couple of weeks. Okay? Where I'll cover all aspects of functions, be it one-to-one, many-to-one types of functions with graphical interpretation, domain and range, all types of functions, be it algebraic, modulus, greatest integer, fractional part, logarithmic exponential, very, very important. But all these graphically also. Okay? And in general, all the remaining transformations like f of mod x, mod of f of mod x, f of greatest integer function of x, कुछ भी कर लो यार. You'll learn ways to do it because these are super important for IIT. Even odd functions, periodic functions, composite functions, inverse functions. All these are super graphical once again. You will also get all the advanced and JEE Main levels theory, examples, tutorials, exercises and tests. You will also become part of a very specific WhatsApp group where all the students who are there with me and I will be there to discuss doubts day in and day out. Okay? These are for the course students. I'll show you the course page briefly. If you're taking the session on Vedantu website today, if you scroll down, you'll see the details of the course. You can take it now. I think there is some lightning deal going on. If you are not, if you are say YouTube, where I'm streaming the session live right now, you can type this link, vedantu.in, VDNT for Vedantu, VDNT.in/functions, VDNT.in/functions. Okay? I'll give you my email ID as well in a while. Okay? So this is the course which I'm going to start. I think I'm starting from the Thursday. This coming Thursday, this Thursday I'm starting with the course. 8 sessions to master it all. Okay? This is the course details. So this is the course page. Okay? There is some offer going on right now. I'll show you that. All the course details are there. Okay? All the topics that will be covered, the course features, I'll be taking the course. You'll get theory notes, assignments, detailed IIT JEE level problems, theory, and the special WhatsApp group where we will be solving our doubts continuously. Okay? 14 hours, that's it, to master it all. We will learn everything graphically and we'll solve very high level problems as well. Slowly I'll pick up your level. Okay? Yeah. So today, guys, though I think it's a 5,000 course, but I think for you students today, I'm running a lightning offer here. Okay? Which will end tonight. So you can get it for 2,000 rupees. Okay? You can click on the link. The link, I'll again repeat, is vdnt.in/functions. For today only, there is a lightning offer for my students who are taking my session. Okay, cool. So this is the course. So again, I'm repeating, just 14 hours next couple of weeks to master the entire functions and all the possible graphs. One more thing, guys, the time is very suitable. I always keep my classes in the evening so that all of you can attempt. Even if you're going somewhere, the class time will be from 7 to 8:45 p.m. every Thursday and Friday till we cover the 14 hours. Okay, so this is the course. All the classes will be recorded and whatever that I write on the board will also be available as class notes automatically. Okay, so cool, got it? एक problem करना IIT का. Do you want to do one IIT का problem? Yes or no? Yes. This is a very nice problem, by the way, that I'm going to give you. This is the problem. Again, I'm taking a problem of area under the curve. Again, forget about actually the problem is of integration. By the way, this problem was of very high marks. Okay, decent percentage of entire paper. But forget about the integration. Actually, the examiner wanted to check your skills of visualizing the functions. ये तो simple है, all of you know. This all of you know. ठीक है? Important is to plot this graph. Let's see if you can plot it, guys. Karo. Let's plot this graph. You can start with this. Start with y equal to 2 minus x square. From here, if this is your y equal to fx, from here I want you to come to y equal to mod of fx. That is y is equal to modulus of 2 minus x square. करो तो, do it. ये plot करो, first plot this. क्या ये? You can write this as y minus 2 is equal to minus x square, yes or no? So actually it looks like as the transformed graph of y equal to x square, sorry, minus x square. What is y equal to minus x square? This graph. We'll do it step by step. Y equal to minus x square. Now when I do y minus 2, what will happen? This graph will shift up by 2. So now this graph will start looking like this. Done. So this is the graph of y is equal to minus x square plus 2. अब आ गया बाबा. What will Baba do? What will this Baba do? Wherever the graph was negative, the Baba will take the graph. Up. This is your required graph. This red graph is your required graph. That is it. Okay. So red graph is y is equal to modulus of 2 minus x square. समझ में आया? Do you want me to repeat? देखो, I'll repeat it. What did I do? First I started with y is equal to 2 minus x square. I wrote that as y minus 2 is equal to minus x square. This blue graph is y equal to minus x square. If I do y minus 2 equal to minus x square, this blue graph goes up by 2. This green graph, which is y equal to minus x square plus 2 FEA. Correct? Now, from here I am coming here. The red graph, what will happen? In the green graph, wherever the graph was below x-axis, just fold that portion up. That is it. Okay? So to summarize, your graph becomes this. This is your graph. This is the graph of y is equal to modulus of 2 minus x square. Other graph is y equal to x square in the question, which will be like this. Okay, this point actually is, see, this was 2, right? So this is 2, है? So this is 2. So the third graph y equal to 2 will be like this. So this is y equal to 2. Area under the curve, region bounded. Region bounded क्या होगा? This portion is the region bounded. This is the region between green, black, blue. That's it. This is the area between the graph which you have to find out, which is very simple integration. I'm not going there. But the 90% of the question is plotting the graph. Now you know it. Do you know? Now I hope you can appreciate why we are learning what we learned in this 1 hour. So it's almost an hour now. So I'll close it, but with a question that I want you to take home. I will discuss this question in my course on functions. This is again an IIT ka question. Okay? You can note it down. In the meanwhile, others, the many are still asking about the course ka link. The course ka link is vdnt.in/functions. Today, if you enroll, guys, other students who have already noted, you can just note down the question. And the students today, there is a lightning offer going on. That is how you make the lightning, to reduce the price from almost 5,000 to today it is, I think, 1999. You can take it. Okay? And in 14 hours, we will cover the entire functions and all the graphs. The classes will be from 7 to 8:45 p.m. on the Thursdays and the Fridays. So you all can attend even if you're going anywhere. Cool? I will be taking the class, and if you have any doubt, please email me your doubts at pulkit.jain@vedantu.com. Okay? कुछ समझ में आया कि नहीं? Or did I bore you guys? I hope I didn't bore you guys, right? And I hope you learned something interesting and new today. So this question, ये तो आपको आता है. You know how to plot the graph of x minus 3 straight line, but only when x is less than 0, then only this graph. When x is greater than or equal to 0, then the quadratic graph, you also know how to plot quadratic. First plot f of x, then make mod of fx. Baba, this you think, this I didn't teach, but can you think about it? Try. Then addition of 2. All this is graphical. No, there is no need to pick up your pen and write an equation. It's all verbal. Just plotting the graph. End of the story. Okay? This question is verbal if you do it graphically. I'll do it in my course on the functions, but you try. If anybody has done it, please you can email me your answers as well. Okay? Cool? Chalo. I will also share an assignment with you on your email IDs where you will get the recording. But the recording will be available after few hours only. Okay? But and today I am again repeating, only for a few hours today this thing is going on my upcoming course on functions. Again I am repeating, I am seeing lots of doubts and queries. Please email me all your questions because I can't take, there's so many out there. My team is trying to help you, by the way. Okay? And this question of which book to read that you always ask. Guys, चलो मैं थोड़ा सा briefly बता देता हूँ. If you are at a very basic level, please ensure you are doing R.D. Sharma subjective. At least the solved examples to strengthen your fundamentals. Okay? After that, you can either take a Arihant or a Sengage ka JEE Mains ka book. Both books are equally good for your objective practice for each chapter. If you're going to some coaching, you can do that coaching institute material as well. But just pick one. Don't try to jump between multiple books. And if you're okay with that level, if you've done it, and if you want something for JEE advanced level, then there are many books. Arihant has very good books. Okay, but I will want to see your performance in my course. Accordingly, I will then tell you specific books as per your level. I will create strategy for you based on your marks in the test of the course that I will take. That will clearly tell me the benchmarking of your level so that I can plan or strategize your studies accordingly. Okay, na? All my tests are benchmarked. My students have got rank 1 and all these ranks over the years have given these tests which will be given to you in the course. Based on that, I precisely know what I need to do to help you get the ranks. Okay? So on that note, I am signing off. All the very best. Thanks for this 1 hour, almost 1 hour, 10 minutes now. Okay? But I hope you really learned something interesting today. Keep up the hard work and keep performing. Just feel confident, okay? Chalo, bye. Good night.